Okay, welcome. I wanted to show you where the importance of this number 2229222292224. Okay, I wanted to show you the significance of this. Now, I got into this a little bit a couple of videos back. I was kind of just trying to set the stage for doing a video on the Hoover Dam date of 922. Okay. Oh, the reason why this date is kind of interesting is, I guess it's the idea of the cross, yeah, which is the balance scales coming out of the Virgin Mary, okay, being born and being born from the Virgin Mary again, or these two things being back in balance, okay. The switch over from Virgo to Libra is that balance point, which happens to be the equinox this year, 922. Okay. Again, it's just an interesting date for the idea of balance, right? Now, let me show you something. Now, I showed you this in the last one, right? But when we reduce, this is basically the center of the table right here. Yeah? And it's really these three numbers right here, because this 7 column really is the amalgamation of these two columns here. Okay, so this is really the center balance point of the table. I know it doesn't look like the center point, but that's where it is. Okay, if you've watched my stuff before, it's been explained. I haven't got time to explain every last little detail here. Anyway, when we reduce these numbers on down that are in Lucas numbers here, okay, so 11 becomes 2, 18 becomes 9, this 29 here reverts back to an 11, which reverts back to a 2. This 47 goes back to an 11 and then back to a 2. This 76 goes to a 13, which then is reduced down to a 4. Okay, so right here now, we're seeing this is the number set here that I'm talking about. Okay, this is the reduced numbers that are in Lucas numbers, and all of these cycles reduce down to 24 repeating digits, okay, individual digits that repeat over and over and over and over and over and over again. These number lines can go on infinitum, okay, forever, right? And but when you reduce every single number in these cycles, all these, they get huge numbers. You reduce them down to the single digit, it's the same 24 digits going over and over again. And so there's 3 different cycles essentially, okay, which is Fibonacci, Lucas, and what I call pi, okay, just because it starts with 314. Okay, it's not the actual transcendental number of pi in this cycle. Okay, I just called it that because of the 314 there. Anyway, what we have though is we have only 3 different cycles. That's all there is. Okay, it doesn't matter what number I start on and go to. If I start on a number, in fact, I can just start on any 2 numbers, and what you'll find is it will be one of those 3 cycles. I can just start a number line where you take one number, add a number, and then go on, and it will be one of these 3 cycles. Okay. Anyway, so that's kind of the Holy Trinity. These 3 things are the Holy Trinity here. Now, one other thing just to mention, I mentioned it in the last video as well, is that Fibonacci, when you reduce these numbers, this 0 here actually doesn't really exist in the cycle. It's really a 9. Okay, this is where the end of the cycle, and then this is the beginning of the cycle right here at this point here. So this is 9/11. This is very important. Again, this is somebody else's kind of find, which was lambda 115, that put Fibonacci into a cycle on a circle, so you can actually see this number, combining here. It's just funny because I know I'd seen that before in Numberphile, but I didn't put 2 and 2 together until it was somebody had put it actually in a cycle where you could see 9 goes to 9 connects with the 1 1. Okay, so again, that's just an immense find there by Lambda. Anyway, right, what do I want to say here? So anyway, I just want people to be like noticing the start of these 3 cycles here. Okay, and this is where we've got all the ones lined up. Okay, 329 or 923. Again, numbers to do with plutonium, sorry, and again, of course, to do with Pluto. And this whole cycle here, Lucas numbers, has a ton of stuff to do with Pluto. I've shown it before, okay, in a video right around Christmas time. I think I might have called it 911 is Pluto, something like that. 911 is Pluto or something. But again, just when we're looking at these reductions here, when we do a half reduction, do you see a half reduction? We've got 11.9, 911 up here, and 218, another number that's, well, hugely to do with Pluto, the discovery of Pluto, 218, okay, or the name, and I can't remember what it is, but anyway, 218 is hugely important with Pluto, and this whole sequence is to do with Pluto. And when you get up to this number 12 here, when we total all these up, we are at 842 for the total with all these numbers, excluding these grey numbers here. These are just subtotals. 842. We just happen to be, if you include the end date, this year from 9/11/2001 through to 9/11 this year is 8402 days. Okay, is it going to be completion, or are we at completion now? Well, if you go 8,420 days from 9/11, it takes you through to the 30th of September, which is, again, is the birth of the Hoover Dam. That's the birthday of the Hoover Dam, yeah. So, and it was the 30th of September 1935, okay. So this is very, very interesting with the 842, because this year, let me show you this as well. This year we are at, in fact, when we were on Donald Trump's birthday, okay, was the finish date for the Pluto cycle, okay, which I think it's 90,560 days, and again 9/11. I think 9/11 was 90,650 days, something like that. Anyway, I can't remember exactly. It just kind of flipped around a little bit. So that was kind of interesting, that from the start of the United States of America, okay, which was again 4/7/1776, we now get to a completion date, a completion time with Pluto. All these numbers are to do with Pluto in here, and we are, look at our reduction above. Yeah, let's just stick a 0 in here. Okay, so there's our year. Okay, 2024. Not a very good 2 there, looks like a 1. 2024, and if we look at the actual date before that, 9/22. Okay. So it's interesting the way these numbers tie together with the idea of the completion of Pluto returning, the completion with the 2001 date for 9/11 through to this 9/11 just gone, and also with the Hoover Dam on the 30th of September as well. Super duper interesting. Now what I want to do is I want to also show you why the 3 cycles that we have, the Holy Trinity of cycles here, these numbers here actually fall at the middle of these 24-digit cycles. Okay, so because right here you can see this isn't going to be at the center of, if we went out 24 digits all the way this way, yeah, reduced all the way up to 24, we're right at the start here with these numbers. Okay, we're not in the middle. Let me show you something. Okay, where is it? Here we are. Okay, so what I've got here is I've got those 3 cycles in their reduced format, going in this direction. Okay, and then I've just put boxes around. I've put boxes around them just so you can see, well, just to try and make things easier to see. I don't know if it makes it easier or not, but anyway. So this first row is Fibonacci, as you can see. It's starting 1, 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, yada, yada, yada. Okay. This second cycle is Lucas numbers. And then the third cycle down the bottom here is pi numbers. Okay. But you can see I'm not starting Lucas numbers at the start of Lucas numbers, and I'm not starting pi numbers at the start of pi numbers. What I've chosen to do, as I do my number doodling, is I've chosen to start them on the double digit, the first low double digit. There's always 2 double digits. Okay, so like in Fibonacci, it's 11 or 11 and 88. In Lucas numbers, it's 22 and 77. Interest 77, 7 sevens are 49. Okay. And then I've done the same thing here. So we're progressing we're going up. Okay, and then we've got 5, 5 in the middle here. Okay, we are going up in order, but we're doing it with the twins. Okay, I don't know how to explain it other than that. So we are aligning stuff, based off of pairs here. Okay, rather than in my other tables we have stuff aligning via 1s and 8s. The other thing that lines up here as well is that in every cycle there's always a 9 opposite a 9 in the cycle. Okay, and so all our 9s, which I also thought was interesting, because obviously if you're from England you'll know what the emergency number in England is. It's 999. So I just thought it was interesting to align all these 9s up as well, have those lining up. Okay, and that just happens to, those happen to line up when we line up the twins. Okay, all the twins in order. Okay, people that watch my stuff and people that do this kind of sort of looking at these kind of ideas, that we know the importance of the twins. Okay, anyway, what I've done, the scribble mess underneath here, what I did was I basically just added up each one of these different colored columns here. So we're basically adding all 3 cycles together. Okay, and then we just reduce the answer, and then what we have underneath here is the fully reduced, amalgamation of all 3 cycles. Okay, now what you'll see straight away is that 213, okay, that is Lucas numbers. Okay? So as soon as I saw 2, 1, 3, 4, I'm like, that's Lucas numbers. And of course I see in this here, I'm like, oh my goodness, these are Lucas numbers. Here's our Lucas numbers right here. See, here's 2, 1, 3, 4, 7, 2, 9, and here we go here, 2, 1, 3, 4, 7, 2, 9, etc., etc. Okay, so we can see these are Lucas numbers, right? But they don't start, interestingly enough, we're not starting right here. Yeah, we're not starting at this point with 213. It's starting here. And what that does is it means if we count 12 in, okay, this becomes the center here. Okay, this is 12. If I could draw an arrow, this is the center of the table here. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, and then there'll be another 12 here. 24 digits. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So 12 on one side, 12 on the other side. 24 digits, yeah? The omega, the end, okay? 24 digits in this cycle. The center is, yeah? Let's put a line here. 9, 2 or 9, 2, 2. Oh, blimey hell. Okay? Fascinating stuff. Very fascinating. And, you know, what do you notice? Whose birthday is this? Stuck right on the end of that. Read it backwards. Yeah. Oh no, don't read it backwards. It's not his birthday, but it's the same numbers. Okay. It's not his birthday. Donald Trump numbers right there. Okay. Yeah, they're mixed up. Actually, his numbers are in Fibonacci. Sorry. There's his actual numbers right there. And I'll tell you something interesting about this. See, there's his numbers. What did I see? Oh, okay, so you see them there, right? Now this is the center point, okay? Let's do an opposite number for this. So to get the opposite number, I need to go over, like we've got 3 bars here, so let's go over 3 columns. So we need to go over to here. So that's the mirror reflection, but now we need the opposite number, because this is also the center line going through this way. Blimey, now this is convoluted, Dan. So we need to go really a diagonal here, okay? And what number do we come out at? When we go opposite, diagonally opposite, okay, so we're flipping down and across. 137, okay, 13th of July. Just interesting with this idea of this whole thing trying to balance itself. Yeah, interesting with those numbers on the end of there. And also look at this in this table as well. You'll have to take my word for this, and I haven't done a diagram for this yet, but you can draw those 3 cycles out and then overlap them in a sort of trinity thing. So you have 3 circles that are overlapping, you know, and makes a sort of a triangle of circles. The number that crosses with 9/11, okay, is 775. And I want to say, I can't remember it exactly, but I think off the top of my head, so this 775 crosses with 9/11. Okay, you draw the circles out. Let me show you. You draw the circles out for each cycle, and they come like this. Okay, and each cycle sort of overlaps like this, and then 9/11 is right here on one of these points, and the other thing that's crossing here at this point as well is 775 of Lucas numbers with 9/11. Okay, now, okay, so what? If you go, I think it's 7,750 days from 9/11, 2001. I want to say that's what it is, 9/11, 2001. I can't remember the year it comes out on, but it comes out at 11:30. Okay, the Great Scott. Great Scott. It comes out at St. Andrew's Day. Okay, the Great Scott. 11:30. I mean, what are the chances of that? Sometime when I get a minute, I'll draw this chart out for the 3 circles overlapping. There's some interesting stuff. 821 is a really big I think that's a big overlap on there. I've got the piece of paper here somewhere in front of me. Where the hell is it? Oh, it's on the floor. Kobe's birthday as well. 823 is one of those numbers. There's several little numbers that are really important with this whole sort of trinity overlapping of the cycles. Anyway, that's a video for another day. But 775, Great Scott, is that overlap with 911. Okay, so if you see a 775 or a 7750, or whatever, that numerology, it might be pointing towards 911. Okay, anyway, the point is, this is the point right here, isn't it? Okay, this set of numbers, I don't know why I keep adding that 2 in there, but this was Labor Day. Okay, super duper important. And in fact, the other thing that's important, 729 is the White Wedding. Yeah, referenced by Billy Idol, and Princess Diana and Charles obviously got married on 729. That was the big White Wedding. So fascinating stuff. I think I'm going to leave it there though for this one. I really just wanted to show you why that's so important with these 3 cycles. Adding the 3 cycles together, our reduction is, oh, these blooming dogs. The reduction is Lucas numbers, and Lucas numbers starting in a different position than just the start of this thing. Super duper fascinating with the connection with the twins being lined up. Okay, because of course you can line these things up in different orientations as well. Also note 124. Okay, which again, if you read that up, 421, the Queen's birthday. Notice the 2 4 8s. Here's the 512. That's a pretty, 521's a better number for the dartboard, but 512 is in the dartboard as well. I think maybe it's not in the dartboard that way around. I can't remember. But there is certainly 157. This is interesting. Lots of interesting stuff within here. Boy, was there anything else I wanted to say about it? Just look through here. You'll see I kind of color coordinated these so that you can see how many times certain numbers show up. Like the 124, we've got 4 columns, yeah, in black. Oh no, 5 columns in black, sorry. Got it down here. Am I seeing things here? No, we've got 4 columns. No, we've got 5 columns. 5 columns in black. Then what else have we got? I don't know if it just goes down or what. I didn't really count them up properly. 2 reds there, 2 greens, 2 blues, 2 pinks. I'm sure there was something else that had a whole bunch. Yeah, it's these brown ones, the 875s. 875, 875, 875, 875, 4 of those. What that means, I'm not quite sure, but anyway, just interesting. I'm leaving it there. Okay. Hopefully that explains why that's so important. Okay, it's at the center of this thing. Right. I'm going to do another video in a minute. I'm going to go through some of the birthdays and some of the ideas surrounding those birthdays. And there was something I found that was really interesting as well, which I want to share with you. That connects to this 922 stuff again. Anyway, and actually the whole number here, actually this 922 2024. Okay, I'll show you in the next one. All right, thanks for watching. All right, cheers, bye.